How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? It's Marshall. Thank you very much for tuning into the show. It's been a little while since I've done one of these kind of talking head videos from sitting in my studio here. And I thought it would be fun to do this particular type of video because I know a lot of you are, they're thinking, Marshall, you're all about the 140 plus BPM trance, techno. Yeah, so I actually have been making music since 2001, and not all of that has actually been trance or techno. So I wanted to show you guys tonight a track that I made that was for a video game. An indie developer was working on some stuff, and I remember I used to try and find people that needed music and try and make stuff for them if they were interested, just for free. To gain exposure. Now, this particular game never got released as far as I know, and so I submitted this work, and as far as I am aware, it never was utilized in anything. So these tracks, there was a total of 3 that I made for this particular project, and I'll probably make some subsequent videos on these because they're so much different than what I really enjoy producing. Now, I mean, I enjoy producing all kinds of music, okay, but my favorite stuff is the stuff that you hear on this channel mostly, which is the 140 plus BPM techno trance, get your ass on the dance floor and shake it. This track's called Mission Objectives, and it is quite a bit different. You'll hear some elements that's kind of, I think, more, pretty much synonymous with some of the stuff I make. But done in a really cool way. And I'm utilizing some plugins and stuff. We'll kind of talk about that here in a minute. And at least one hardware synthesizer. And we'll talk about that too. So without further ado, let's listen to this track. It's short, so just hang tight, and then we'll go through the project. So here it is, Mission Objectives from 2010. And there it is. Thanks for stomaching that. Hopefully it was enjoyable. This was a lot of fun to make, actually, because it was different, and I got to incorporate some elements that I wouldn't normally utilize in a dance track. Like some of the percussion in here is just really really great sounding in my opinion. So you see, you'll notice here, let me just kind of back out of the track. Now it's been a long time since I've been in Pro Tools, so I apologize. Like I had kind of screwed up a little bit when I was trying to zoom in on some stuff. But anyways, I should, it's like riding a bike. Like I'll pick it right back up, I'm sure. What you see first here in this MIDI track, which is not titled because I was lazy apparently. This is all from the Play engine and utilizing Storm Drums 2. Now this is such a cool plugin from East West. Now I don't know if they've got a newer version of this. Again, this was I made this in 2010. It's like 11 years old now from when I originally created this track. So I would imagine there's probably newer versions of this out, but it is a really fun. Let me just turn that volume down. This is a really fun plugin from East West. And I've purchased a lot of their libraries over the years, the Symphonic Orchestra, the Storm Drums 2, the guitar one, I can't remember what that one's called, and then the choirs one. Anyway, so I used to kind of try and find ways to sneak some of this stuff in sometimes. With this particular plugin, though, and this track, like for this main section here in the intro, it's kind of doing like sound effects, and you can see it's the neural exposure kit. Now there's some other kits in here that I'll talk about here in a second, but they are percussion, and it doesn't look like I can't remember. It's been such a long time since I've used this plugin that I can't even remember how I set things up in here. But the good thing is, and this is always a problem sometimes when you're working on pulling up an old track that you worked on years ago. A lot of times stuff doesn't load because you've got old plugins, and that's kind of the case here, and I'll talk about that when we get to that. But it's not that bad, and actually because I had rendered audio for just about everything, I did that for everything except for this effects section. Anyway, let's just play this portion of it, if I can remember how to solo these. All right, and in case I decided to cut all that crap out, like I couldn't remember how to apparently solo individual instruments here the correct way, but I've got it figured out. So we're just gonna play this section here. This is just the Storm Drums 2 from that neural exposure thing here. And we can just kind of play some of these. These are kind of like pre-rendered sounds. But they're cool, right? They're kind of spooky sounding. So let's listen to just those effects here real quick. And I hope you're listening in headphones because it sounds really cool in stereo. Anyway, so yeah, to kind of build the tension in the track, I guess I should say to set the ambiance, right? This was fun to kind of lay out some of these effects in a cool way. It sound like some kind of metallic stuff going on there, like. But let's move on to the next bit here. Now, the one thing that you cannot see here is that I am using Reason as well as via Rewire. Let's see it here. Let me just switch over to that. Yeah, so I'm using Reason. This is actually Reason version 8. I want to say I originally wrote this in Reason 7, probably. But again, I don't remember. I want to see if this will tell me the year. I can't see that over there. It does not. Oh, 2015. Okay, so it wasn't 8. It might have been, maybe 5 or 6 then. I think it might have been at the time when Reason and Record were separate products. Anyway, so in here, what I've got here is I've got a redrum, and we can hear some of the kits that I'm using here with just some effects. Yeah, like that's a cool snare. And then another redrum rack here. More like the hi-hats kind of stuff. Hopefully that's picking up because it's kind of quiet. and then a kick, a crash. And this combinator here I'm using for effects. The pad here, I don't think I'm actually using this, am I, in an XT? Yeah, there's nothing in that section, so I must have been working with it, thinking maybe I'll use something. I think I ended up using the V-Synth, which we'll talk about here in a little while. And then this is a side chain, I believe. Yeah, this is a side chain that's just running. Yeah, so let me just play the Reason portion, and you guys can hear what that sounded like. Now that we know what's going on in Reason, that's off on another screen here, and we can hear the percussion sounds from that. Let's check out some of these other percussion sounds from the Storm drums. All right, so the next bit here that we're going to talk about is, so that's all the percussion. And this track is actually mostly percussion and some effects, and then a single pad and a lead. Now the pad, you can see right here, this is the chord progressions that I wrote, and it is literally the V-Synth. And the cool thing about ProTools that I liked, and I would do this, is you can utilize these little columns down here. I don't know if it's different in the newer ProTools, but I refuse to pay like $200 a year or however much it is for the subscription. Like, I don't want to subscribe to my DAW, so I'm just stopped using them once they kind of started doing that. And anyway, so you can put little notes in here. So this says Sleep Now, which is probably the patch on the V-Synth, and I've still got the V-Synth, so I could, you know, if I wanted to, go back and pull that patch up, which is cool. If I wanted to change anything in this, I still got the original synth and a note with what the patch was. So let's just kind of listen to this pad, because it is pretty amazing sounding. It's got kind of a cool shimmery kind of sound. Now, if we come over here, it looks like I've got this kind of layered up. Yeah. Zoom in some more on this. I love the V-Synth. What an amazing synthesizer. I wish. You Roland, you guys, you silly gooses. All right, cool. So that's the pad. Now let's talk about the lead. Now, this is a situation where, again, this track is from over a decade ago, and the plugin that I used, and then, this plugin here, Mini V2. Now, this was it was like version 1 of this Mini V. So I've got the latest version 3, and actually I'm curious to see if version 2 comes up. Now, this is the problem with an old thing like this, and then as plugins are updated or changed, they oftentimes are not backwards compatible. At least that's been my experience. You can see I've got V2 and V3 here. Actually, it does look like it's V2. What was I seeing? I thought I was seeing something that said it was V1. Yeah, so... Oh, it did. It turned it on. I wonder if it pulls the, oh shit. I just unleashed the beast here. But let's just hear that sequence because it's a cool synth sound that I made here. I can't remember if it was a preset that I tweaked or if it was just a straight up preset. But what I'll do here is I'll zoom in on the MIDI for this and we'll listen to the audio for it. How's that sound, boys and girls? Sounds like a plan to me. Solo. Oh yeah, here it is. See how it says? It says Mini V2 1-1. Maybe that's the MIDI channel. I'm not sure. I don't know what the deal is with that. Okay, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did showing it to you. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning into the show. I will be back with some new shows sooner than later. I've got some plans. A music video kind of thing that I'm kind of working on. We'll see how that turns out. Hopefully that'll come out soon. And be sure to subscribe and like the video, share it with your friends, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.